On this episode, we're going to tell you how you can differentiate yourself. Why should a seller hire you? I mean, it's not like you're the only realtor in your town. So why the hell should they hire you over the other one, right? You need to be able to articulate that. And if you know what that is, if you know what your differentiator is going into listing presentations, you're going to be that much more confident. You're going to get so many more deals. So let's jump into it. What is up, everybody? Welcome to episode 195 of the Massive Agent Podcast. We are getting dangerously close to episode 200, and I still don't have a clue what I'm going to do for episode 200 to make it special and unique, but I'll figure it out. I have 5 weeks. Today, guys, we are talking about how to differentiate yourself as an agent, because as you may have noticed, everyone out there knows 42 other realtors because everyone and their dog and their dog's previous owner, they're all agents, right? So why should they hire you? Why should they hire you to help them buy or help them sell? You need to know this and you need to articulate it. All right. So 2 different parts to this whole conversation here. You need to know what makes you different, and then you need to let everyone else know that. All right. And if you know what makes you different and you've got it dialed in, like dialed the hell in, but then no one else knows about it, you don't really have it dialed in. So I remember back when I was a brand new agent and I was, I had a mentor and I was like, okay, what do I do? I got my license. And, since the license has, getting your real estate license, the training is ridiculous. They're training you for absolutely nothing that you'll ever need, literally ever. Meets and bounds, how to identify the type of sinkhole. I mean, come on. They don't teach you a goddamn thing about how to be a real estate agent or how to be a successful real estate agent, and definitely don't teach you how to get deals. So I'm sitting there, I got my license. I'm, super new. And I'm like, oh, okay, tell me what to do. Don't have a clue. And my mentor was like, well, what's different about you that no other realtor out there has or offers? And so here's what I'm going to tell you guys. When I started thinking about this, I thought literally I needed to find something something that I was offering, or a special program or incentive or something that literally no other agent in the Salt Lake area was offering. And so it stressed me the hell out for so long, because I'm like, well, I guarantee so-and-so is doing this. Well, that's not that special. That's not that unique. I got to think of I have to invent something. I have to invent a concept. And it stressed me out. And some of you guys may be in that situation where you're like, well, what makes me special? What differentiates me? And I think I said differentiates. Yeah, differentiates. I'll try to limit my use of that word for all of our, for the common good today. Anyways, what separates you from other realtors? I just started overthinking it. And so now that I've been in the industry for, going on 11 years, it doesn't have to be some newly invented concept that you're offering. That's great. That's awesome. But do you need to like have some completely invented concept to be successful? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Now, you and the way you do business, your personality, your communication style, all of that, that's unique. So right there, that's part of it. But you can't just say, you should hire me because I have a great personality. I mean, that's honestly, guys, that's a reason why people will hire you. That's part of it. But you don't say it. That's the part you don't say out loud. You don't say, well, you should hire me because I'm funny or whatever. That's going to help them hire you, but it's not the reason why they should. Okay. So that's part of it. So I want you, here's why I even bring that up. I want you to wrap your head around the fact and accept the fact that you don't need some invented concept that literally no other agent's doing. You just have to do what's working in your own unique way with your own unique spin on it. That's it. Okay. Now, how to communicate that with clients. All right. That can be done in many different ways. So I'll talk about the message and then how to deliver the message, how to actually get it out there. And this is, if you guys listen to episode, I think it was 193 with Krista Mayshore, just 2 episodes ago, she gets almost every listing that she goes to present for, like pretty much every single one. And the reason why is because she has a very unique 15-step pre-listing process where she sends out a bunch of stuff, and it's super, it's this big process to where like she's building massive credibility for herself and educating sellers before she ever meets them in person. So that's unique. So if you can do something like that, and I know she's not the only one that does that. There's lots of agents that send out a pre-listing packet or a pre-listing book, or, a series of emails or videos that go out to the client before you ever sit down with them. But she did it in her own unique way, which with that context, no one else is doing in her area. Other people are doing it, but no one's doing it quite like her. So she's getting a ton of sellers that way. Not many people are doing that kind of stuff. Okay. So it could be a pre-listing process, a pre-listing system or strategy that you have in place. That works great. And then you and your own unique personality and your unique way of educating the seller on what they need to know. That's super unique. That's going to win you a ton of business. You could do the same thing with buyers. It doesn't have to be a pre-listing thing. It could be a pre-buyer consultation thing where you send them a bunch of stuff, some videos, you train them, you're basically building your own credibility and edifying yourself because you're teaching them, so that once you finally show up to that meeting or have that first phone call or that first Zoom meeting, the buyer's like, okay, I know this person, I know this agent. They've taught me so much. They obviously know their shit. They're super freaking sharp, and they've already kind of made up their mind that they're going to hire you. So then the meeting is just kind of a formality where they're like, okay, how do we do this? Where do we sign? Where do we sign? Like, if you guys are doing this right, the pre-listing or pre-buying consultation, whatever, you do that right, and then you're just showing up to get the contract signed, to get your buyer broker or your listing agreement signed. Not bad, right? Okay, so switching gears slightly back to where we were, because this is just how my mind works. I'm not a linear guy, as you well know. That's why the squirrel is one of the most frequently, it's one of our most frequent guests here on the show, is the squirrel. One of these days, I'm going to dig up that damn squirrel pillow that one of you guys sent me and just have it back here. Yeah, I haven't done that in a while. It's been years since I had the squirrel pillow. Anyhow, if you're a new agent, if you're a solo agent and you are trying to differentiate yourself or separate yourself from other agents, other teams, other than, massive teams that have a big presence in your area with 30, 40 agents, and you as a solo agent, or especially a new agent, you're like, how the hell do I compete with that? Well, let me tell you, what you have going that they probably don't is, if it's your first transaction, for the right seller or the right buyer, that's actually a huge value add. Okay, because you're going to be able to provide your undivided attention. Your hunger and your focus is going to be greater than anyone else can offer, because you want to get that first deal done, and you don't just want to get it done to get paid. Hopefully, you want to get it done and get that 5-star review and wow the shit out of your client, so that they refer you to their friends and their family, and then your business grows. And if you tell them right up front that that's your plan, here's my plan, guys. My goal is not just to help you sell this house, but to earn a 5-star review, because we crushed it. We got you a ton of money. It was an easy process. We took a bunch of the stress off your shoulders. And I want to do such a great job that you refer me to your friends and family. And if they know it's your first deal and they can see you're genuine and that you can actually do the things you're saying you're going to do, you're going to get a lot of business that way. You can do that as a new agent. If you've been in the business for 15 years or 8 years, that's a little harder saying, you have my undivided attention. They're like, haven't you been an agent for 8 years? Like, why don't you have other clients? It's a different conversation when you're new. So use that to your advantage. Okay. Use that to your advantage. If you're solo, again, they're going to have your undivided attention. They're going to be working with you and only you. Now, from a business standpoint, ideally, you guys start moving away from that because it's not scalable. If that's literally all you want from your career is just for you to wear all the hats and do all the things, cool. Who am I to tell you shouldn't do that? But if you guys are where I think most of you are, is where you want to scale and grow and continue to scale and grow, and you know there's only so many hours in the day that you can personally work, or there's only so many hours in the day that you should work because you have a life, or you have a family, you have all these things outside of work that you really should be doing to take care of yourself and to actually be a happy, fulfilled individual. Kind of important. But you know, wow, I went off on a tangent there. Squirrel moment. If you are solo, they know that they're only going to be meeting with you. You're their single point of contact. For a lot of clients, that's a great thing. Now, if you are a team or a team member, and you are just one piece of the puzzle, and there's a group of people who will help them throughout the transaction, that's also a great thing if you can teach them how. That's great, right? If you're just working, if the seller's just working, sorry, if a buyer's just working with a solo agent and they need to see, if they're like, hey, this property just popped up, we need to go see it right now, you may be booked up with other clients or some other obligation. If you are part of a team or you run a team, you sell that as, hey, anytime you need to see a property, we can accommodate, because it's not just me. We have a team of people that are ready to show the property for a time that's best for your schedule. We can show you homes and make offers and meet based on your needs, not ours. That's a big deal. Okay. Also, brain power. Okay? When you have 6 people that are all participating in a transaction, you can sell that as, hey, this is actually super helpful for you, Mr. Buyer, Mr. Seller, because you have 6 of us. 6 brains are better than one, and we're going to be able to knock this out of the park with teamwork. You sell it as, like a surgeon. They're not at the front desk, getting people to sign the forms and the waivers and everything. They're not also cleaning the operating room. They're there for one specific purpose, to do the surgery. And they have all this supporting staff around them to help them. That's what you are. If you have a team, that's what you should be. And what you should be building towards is, you're there for a specific purpose. And then you have other role players that are doing the things they need to do to make the transaction possible and to service the shit out of the client. More brain power. Teams can have more efficiency. Sometimes solo agents can have more efficiency. It depends on the solo agent, right? Are you somebody, if you're solo, are you super efficient and lightning quick? Hopefully you have a freaking transaction coordinator by now, because that's the first step towards efficiency, is so that you're not doing all the paperwork bullshit. And see, even as a solo agent, you can outsource certain parts of the job so that you can focus on income producing activities and servicing more clients. If you're busy doing all the paperwork and putting your signs up and taking them down and key boxes and all this stuff, you don't personally have to do that shit. And then you're like, oh, well, I don't really have time to post on social media. It's because you've chosen to use your time poorly. You've made pretty shitty decisions with your time. You're still mowing your grass because real men, or, I had a few messages on Instagram this last week when I asked if who's still mowing their grass, and someone was like, well, real men mow their grass. Do they? Or is that just a story you're telling yourself? Because I don't like mowing my grass. I don't feel like any less of a man because I pay someone to do it, and I free up another hour and a half per week. Plus, helping to stimulate the economy and giving somebody else a livelihood by, supporting them. I don't think that's that bad of a deal. Anyhow, there's things that you can do to outsource so that you are not wearing all the hats. If you're wearing all the hats, I'm sorry, that's not a smart business play. You're not a business at that point. You are running your own job, and you're not even doing it efficiently. So you could do better. Get a freaking transaction coordinator. Get over this thing that it's an expense. It's not an expense. Get over this thing. Well, it only takes me 15 minutes to do this. It only takes me a few minutes to do this. You're missing the point. You're missing the point. Get a transaction coordinator so you don't have to worry about that part. So you can focus on this part and do much more of it, and let the transaction coordinator do that part. Pretty simple, but it's not simple for some of us, because we're like, well, why would I pay someone a few $100 when it's only going to take me 10 minutes? You just don't get it. Try it for a couple of transactions, and I promise you, you'll think, how the hell did I ever do business any other way? There's a reason why the biggest producers all have assistants and transaction coordinators. Interesting. So, that's how those are some of the ways you differentiate yourself or explain, what you offer that others don't. Now, your marketing is also part of this. It's not just, who you are, how you do things, your business makeup, all of that. It's the marketing, especially on the seller side, not so much marketing on the buyer side. Now, you need to know how to negotiate. You need to know how to present the best offer, and you need to know some strategy behind how to present a great offer and how to get those offers accepted and how to use your lender to help you and all of that stuff. You need to know that shit. Now, the key is to communicate that with the client. If it's a buyer, communicate what you do and why you're so good at getting offers accepted. And if you give specifics, the buyer, are going to think, okay, they know what they're doing. And then they feel bought in. They feel bought into what's happening, because they're like, okay, I understand what's going to happen. Like, I now understand what's happening behind the scenes rather than just make offer, get house. They know that there's more to it. And so if you explain that, you're more credible, you're the professional, you're the one they want to work with, you've educated them, you're the teacher. Okay. But they're also going to be more patient with you and more understanding if something happens where they don't get the house, right? Because they know there's so much more behind the scenes that you are handling. But if you don't say anything, they're just like, well, we made an offer. Why the hell aren't we getting this house? What the shit? Like, what? You didn't do your job, asshole. That's on you as the agent for not communicating. As the listing agent, when you show up at a listing presentation, you guys go back and listen to episode 193 with Krista Mayshore, where she talks about her pre-listing process. You guys need to have some version of that. If a seller calls and you're like, oh, cool, what's your address? All right, I'll be there at 3, and you show up and that's literally the first interaction at all, you're already swimming upstream. You're already set up for failure, because you haven't warmed them up. You're showing up cold. It's not just you that's showing up cold. The seller is going into that meeting cold too. Now, if you've been doing some content marketing, and there are videos out there on the internet, and there is content on your website where they can actually get to know you a little bit better as the agent, and that's why they're calling you in the first place, great. Content can do a lot of this work up front for sure. But as far as like their house, and here's what they need to know about the selling process and all of that, you've got to have some of that going before you show up. It doesn't need to be 15 steps, but if you can get to 3 steps before that meeting, you're going to win so many more listings. Okay. And then you're going to show up and differentiate yourself by showing them, hey, we know what we're doing. We're educators. We're experts on this. Being an expert is one hell of a way to show that you are better than the rest, that they should choose you over the others. If they believe you are the most credible, the most knowledgeable, the most skilled, and that they believe you can actually get the job done that you're telling them you can do. That's a pretty big differentiator. And that all starts before the meeting ever happens. It starts before they even call you with the content that you put out there, that you have in your Facebook ads, your website, your emails, social media, all that stuff. Okay. But then when you're sitting down with them, there's agents out there that literally don't have a listing presentation. They don't have a listing presentation. I think Ricky Carruth said he doesn't have a listing presentation. He just shows up and asks questions. He just asks a bunch of questions and finds out what they need. And Zeus Kang, who was on this show before about how to kill the listing presentation, he doesn't like listing presentations. He asks questions and gets the seller to show them around, and and now he has some pieces of information that they're going to need, like what do you list it at and all that stuff. But usually you don't even know that till after you've seen the house and see what kind of condition it's in. Because if you are showing up at a listing presentation already knowing what the house should be listed at, you're no better than Zillow. You're a walking Zestimate. You're a Zestimate with a Macy's suit. Okay, because Zillow, how are they supposed to accurately estimate the value of your home if they've never frickin' seen inside? Hmm? So if we bag on Zillow for their shit estimates, and then we show up and do literally the same thing and already have a value in mind before we've seen the interior, we're no better. Food for thought, right? Just a walking Zillow. Maybe that's good, maybe that's bad, but in this context, bad. Yeah. So guys, you don't have to have like this super special, super secret, ultra platinum offering that literally no one else does. You can piece together a bunch of different things that others offer. An iBuying program. My friend Jason Cassidy with Compass in San Diego, he has investors, and so he's just built his own iBuyer program where he can provide instant offers. Clayton Gitz, my mentor in Richmond, Virginia, his team has an instant offer program where they will make an offer because they have investment behind it. That differentiates people. Bridge loans. There's certain brokerages, there's certain companies out there that you can team up with and link arms with, that if a seller needs to redo their basement or repair their kitchen or something before listing, the company or the brokerage or whoever will actually just do it and then get paid back at closing. Bridge loans are huge. If you show up to a listing and there are 4 other agents or 3 other agents, you're the 4th, and those other 3 are like, okay, you need to redo your kitchen, you need to finish your basement, blah, 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 and then we'll list it at this price, and they leave it at that, and most of them do. And you show up and say, yeah, you need to do those things, but why don't you just use our bridge loan program? We'll pay for the repairs. You list with us, you pay it back with the proceeds at closing. Bing, bing, boom. You're going to get a shitload of listings that way. Because that's unique. You're not the only one doing it, but you're probably the only one that the seller is speaking to. So guys, I hope that my goal here was to just give you some perspective and give you permission to not think that you need to be the only one doing a certain thing. You just need to put a bunch of these pieces together in a way that nobody else is. All right? Because the fact of the matter is there's no one like you. There's no one with your personality. There's no one that's going to do things or say things or present things the way you do. Now you put all these other offerings together and all these other pieces, and that becomes the big package. That is what differentiates you from others. Now you have to just get others to know that. So you use the marketing, you use your social media skills, everything we talk about in this show all the damn time. Everyone who's joined the Massive Agent Bootcamp, you guys that have learned all this stuff over a 60-day period. By the way, massiveagentbootcamp.com, still a few spots available. Starts September 29th. Highly recommend that. But you then use video to educate the marketplace on what you just decided on, like what differentiates you. I told you I wouldn't use that word differentiate, but I've been doing pretty well. So I'm just going to keep going. You need to, if you can say, okay, here's what we offer. Here's all the things. Here's what makes me or us special. Then let the world know through video. Use graphics. Use video and graphics. Use posts. Use blog posts. Use video slideshows. All this stuff. First, you have to decide what it is you offer, what makes you special and unique. Then you take that and use all the video and everything you have available to you to get the word out. Put it on your website, put it on YouTube, put it on social media, Facebook ads, all the stuff. All the stuff. That is how you crush. And you guys that are struggling right now, I can guarantee it, you don't have a coherent, intentional strategy behind this. I guarantee it. Okay? If you're struggling, it's because this is not coherent, it's not consistent, and it's not, maybe you do internally, but then if no one else knows about it, what's the point? So if you get all those pieces together, your struggle disappears. Like you're just not struggling anymore. How amazing is that? Right? It's going to take some work. It's going to take some thought. It's going to take some focus. And by the way, guys, I just finished this amazing book on Audible called Total Focus by, I think it's by Brandon Webb. He's a former Navy SEAL. And here, let me find it real quick. This is worth waiting for, guys. Total Focus, Brandon Webb. Yep. There we go. Former Navy SEAL turned multi-million-dollar entrepreneur. And it's funny. It was recommended to me I went to dinner and one of our friends' husbands was like, yeah, you need to read Total Focus. It's amazing. And I'm like, okay, didn't know anything about it. I just downloaded it on Audible right there on the spot. And I'm like, cool, I'll start listening. It was the perfect book for me at the moment that I'm in right now with where I'm at in my career and what I want to do and all my goals. It was absolutely exactly what I needed. And so I highly recommend Total Focus on Audible. Go check that out. Even if it's the physical book, cool, but I listened to it. Anyways, guys, you put together these pieces, you focus like a laser, and you just get shit done and put it out there. It's not going to be perfect. You need to accept the fact that it's not going to be perfect. Done is better than perfect. Done is better than perfect. So get the shit done. And then if you feel like it over time, you can improve on it to get it closer to what you feel is done right. But getting it done is so much better than perfect. And then get people to see it. That's the game, guys. Every single one of you guys has this in you. You have success in real estate in you. You wouldn't be listening to the show. You wouldn't be doing what you're doing for a living if you didn't have the capability of doing it. The question is, do you have the desire and the commitment to actually do what it takes to get this thing rolling? Because once you get it rolling, it's a lot easier to keep it rolling, right? It's like if you have a boulder and you're trying to push it to get started and there's a slight hill, it takes a lot of effort to get that thing going. But once it starts going, then you just push it along a little bit. That so many of you guys are right there. You're 3 feet from gold. Just keep freaking digging, keep freaking doing it, and you're going to get there. You guys that are there, I highly recommend that you guys, if you don't have a great system for following up with your leads and your contacts and your past clients and, keeping track of birthdays and just keeping your communications on point and then having the tools to scale your business. If you don't have that, you guys need to go get a 30-day free trial of Follow Up Boss. I've looked everywhere in the industry. I'm very picky with who we choose to have sponsor the show. Recently, we've partnered up with Follow Up Boss because they are the best CRM out there for agents that want to scale quickly and go from one of the small ones to the big ones. If you want to go from the little guy to the big guy, you need Follow Up Boss because all the big guys and big girls have Follow Up Boss. So super cool for massive agent listeners. I keep touching my table and my camera's shaking. Massive agent listeners, if you guys just go to Follow Up Boss's website, you can get a 14-day free trial. But because you're listening to this show and they decided to hook you up, which is amazing, you get a 30-day free trial and you don't even have to put in your credit card. You just go get the free trial. So I highly recommend you guys go get a 30-day free trial of Follow Up Boss. You go to massiveagentpodcast.com/follow-up-boss, massiveagentpodcast.com/follow-up-boss. Get your 30-day free trial. No credit card required. Try it out and then tell me, was that not the best, most coherent, most user-friendly, most stacked system that you've ever seen to scale a business? Yep. I'll be hearing a lot of positive comments from you soon. massiveagentpodcast.com/follow-up-boss, guys. Go check them out and support them for supporting us and making our awesome shows available to you. Guys, appreciate you listening. Appreciate all the messages. You guys that are not following me on Instagram, please go do that at Massive Agent or Massive Agent Podcast on Facebook. And if there's ever a piece of content out there, not just this podcast, but a video you see come across, if you liked it, if you watched it and you're like, oh, that's pretty good, please react with it. Like give us a like, give us a heart, comment on it, share it with somebody, share it within a Facebook group, tag your friends, tag your business partners and team members, let them know that the content exists, help us get the word out, because by doing that, we can continue to do more of this. This podcast is actually quite a time commitment because of all the different stuff that it entails. And it's not cheap to do. And, but I love doing it. I mean, I wouldn't have done 195 straight episodes if I didn't really enjoy it, but I enjoy it because I get feedback from you. So send me a message or, share a screenshot that you're listening to the show in your Instagram stories and tag me. And, I need to know that you guys are out there listening. Otherwise, it's just numbers on a screen saying, here's how many people listened. So I like real people rather than real numbers because real numbers aren't that personable. So anyways, guys, Have a great weekend. Go get yourself a 30-day free trial of Follow Up Boss. Why wouldn't you? If you've heard about it and haven't used it, why the hell wouldn't you? Go do that. Have a great weekend. Go sell some homes. Go close some loans. Enjoy some time with your friends and family. Take care, guys.